At 9 a.m., tactical intelligence flagged a hostile mechanized column advancing toward the border. By 9:30 a.m., the convoy was skirting the border and drone operators initiated the opening strikes against the hostile armor. The adversary committed a heavy force composition, massed infantry, multiple armored combat, and a self-propelled artillery piece to support the assault. Due to highly coordinated defensive maneuver and seamless communication, our units managed to inflict massive casualties directly on the boundary line. By 10:20 a.m., the main column was halted, its shattered remnants failing to breach the anti-tank defense network, specifically the fortified Dragon's Teeth obstacles. The adversary clearly did not anticipate such rapid containment, a critical failure evident in their lacking combined arms coordination. The hostile soldiers scattered under heavy fire, sustaining catastrophic losses while completely failing their objective. Once their armor was neutralized, the surviving infantry fled, seeking defilade in the nearby tree lines and cover. By 10:40 a.m., our FPV pilots began hunting down the assault motorcycles utilized in the charge, which the hostile troops had quickly abandoned to seek concealment in the brush. "20 minutes later, thermal-equipped drone assets commenced sweep operations to locate the hidden hostile infantry. Within 30 minutes, our pilots' counter detected the hostile howitzer, providing indirect fire support for the assault. We ordered an immediate fire mission to neutralize the artillery and prevent further shelling. The entire hostile engagement lasted a mere 2.5 hours. Our drone units required only that brief window to systematically dismantle the entire. Consider the stark economic asymmetry. An armored column costing tens of millions of dollars, excluding personnel replacement costs, was completely neutralized by low-cost kamikaze drones. The strategic implications for Moscow are devastating. This scale of asymmetric warfare was once theoretical. Now it defines the high-casualty reality on this. Daily, our defensive operations neutralize up to 1,500 hostile troops. Even a state with vast manpower reserves cannot sustain such relentless daily combat attrition rates. We are systematically bleeding their forces dry, largely driven by our advanced unmanned aerial systems. Thermal signature. Tactical footage shows a hostile soldier attempting to conceal himself behind a structure. He attempted to evade detection, hoping to survive the engagement. But our tactical net is absolute. Let us examine the operational after-action report from our Worm Busters unit next. Over these 4 years, our troops have sustained high-tempo combat operations, working a relentless 24-hour cycle where every tactical decision determines the fate of our nation. Each precision strike degrades the enemy force and advances our lines. This is achieved through our international logistics and material support networks are vital to sustaining this fight. We recognize the global partners standing with those of us defending our sovereign territory. Through this unified effort, our defenses will hold systematically dismantling the Kremlin war machine and the entire hostile system built over the last 26 years. Our deep strike UAV campaigns and the resulting logistical disruptions across their rear areas confirm this reality. Look closely here. At 4 a.m., the adversary initiated another major armored breakthrough attempt. A main battle tank and an infantry fighting vehicle spearheaded the assault. Flanking forces halted the BMP using FPV strikes while Signum operators suppressed the concealed infantry. 7-1 precise kinetic strike, none of them emerged. We subsequently tracked the supporting assault tank and neutralized it before it could regroup. In this sector, the enemy deployed a Grad multiple rocket launcher into an active firing position. Overhead surveillance confirmed the exact moment they began shelling our forward defensive lines. Signum Battalion operators immediately dispatched several FPV assets to intercept the threat, but secondary strikes proved completely unnecessary. The lead drone achieved a direct impact on the vulnerable rear armor. Because that FPV asset carried a customized heavy payload, the resulting detonation was absolutely devastating. Within minutes, the launcher was completely engulfed, rendering the remaining incoming drones redundant for the. Consequently, operators rerouted those assets to hit secondary targets, specifically enemy transport lines in the rear. Signum is systematically dismantling hostile supply lines. As an officer, I know logistics is the lifeblood. Fuel powers the armor, armor drives the offensive. Cut that supply, and the entire war machine collapses. That is why our drone operators target not just frontline combat vehicles, but the entire infrastructure supporting them, transports networks, and transit corridors. Interdiction is not about random detonations. Fight. Watch this footage closely. Terminal Phase 1, second out. Drone modifications complete. The Donetsk sector. These tactical engagements require no introduction. The telemetry tells the story. Close-range optics capture raw terror on enemy faces panic that no doctrine, training, or ideology. In that terminal, second combat statistics fade, leaving only a man facing an incoming threat. Advanced drone modifications deliver the same clinical precision, the same proximity, and the same absolute inevitability. But let us look deeper. Every strike recorded here is more than just a kinetic kill. It represents a life preserved on our side. Every hostile taken off the board means friendly forces spared and urban centers saved from indiscriminate shelling. Real people survived today because our drone units held the high ground over the Donetsk skies. Both sides of this equation are vital to understanding modern combat dynamics. We see raw panic documented on the field. It is the final moment for an invading force that crossed our sovereign borders. Yet behind the controls, there is absolute composure. The professional execution of our defenders proves we will not. Our forces will press the fight until the adversary is completely expelled.